angling for all that crap there. Maybe. That's a little bit better. At least you don't see it. All my cords. Hi, Norma. How are you? So I wonder. Nice. Wow. Very happy to see that. Hey, Hazel. Hi, Kate. That's awesome. So for my viewers that are on Facebook, I have just figured out how to share the screen. I'm so excited. I can't believe I did it. I'm like, yes. It's always a really good feeling when you figure something out. I'm glad you guys are doing fine. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. I hope you have your tea or your coffee or whatever you're drinking. Okay, so quick update on the whole jewelry haul, folks. The third person decided that, to just donate the bag. So I'm gonna make a little video of that where you will kind of come with me and we'll go and donate it together and you'll see that and stuff. So the other two ladies, I have their gifts in the packaging. So I just wanted to update everybody so nobody was like, oh, like whatever. So it's fine, like just wanting to know what happened. Hey, Carl, how's it going? So today I wanted to talk about, I'm just going to move my camera down here. I want to talk about our Nicole Kessinger. Now, for for a lot of us, this is the story that sort of brought us all together, right? I really wanted to talk about why it is that this photo seems off. Does anybody else notice anything odd about this photo? I'm just wondering. Hey, Henry, how's it going? Did I miss you? You're like, hey, please. Oh. So yeah, does anybody else like literally right now notice anything different about this photo? Obviously, they are the same photo. There's just different lightings so that you can get a good view of both of them. But also kind of interesting that so many of us from all around the world have seen this photo, and none of us have actually been talking about what is wrong with this photo. Do you notice anything that's wrong with this photo? I'm curious if anybody can figure out what it is that I'm trying to point out. Hey, Amy, TGIS. You dislike this picture? Do you notice anything odd about the picture other than the distance in the body frame? Does anybody notice how her arm is up in this photo, but no, her arm is not up in the rear view of this? In fact, her shoulders are completely level, almost as if she doesn't have her arm up or something, or this was somehow photoshopped, or I don't know. Like, I want to know what you guys think, I find it's a little bit odd. My little tripod. Come on, baby. Work with me. Don't you find that a little bit odd? In all honesty, that, even her shoulders, and I mean, I wear this kind of a hair bun style all the time, but even that one, I mean, you can't even see like a shadow of a hand or the arm or anything like that. And I'm like, that's really weird, Why is it like that? Pretty odd. I thought so too. Like, was this photoshopped, and why, if it was, She could not moved arm by doing that. No, that's what I mean. Like, the pose that we see from the mirror doesn't totally appear to be the pose that we are seeing from behind, Quite odd, in my opinion, that none of us, I guess, had really noticed that. What do you guys think? You know? Do you think that maybe this was photoshopped or something before it was released to the public? Good evening, Hua. How are you doing? I found it a little bit odd to see this like this, you know, because you can kind of see her shadow on the door. Her shoulder wouldn't look like that if her arm was up. It wouldn't be even like that. It almost looks as if both of her hands are potentially perhaps on the door, you know, on the knob of the door versus up. But why would we get a Photoshop version of this? You know what I mean? The legs are a bit off, Henry says too. I mean, between these two, one is just a more close-up version, right? But yeah, the legs are off in the reflection, meaning that, like, you know, she's got it more pointed out like an L shape, right? She looks like she has one leg, but in the photo you can see, you know, her knee is pointed outwards. Hey, Granny Doe. So I definitely wanted to bring that to you, all of y'all's attention, because I honestly thought it was a little bit weird. Hey, you just reminded me, Gina. I wanted to say happy 420 to all my, you know, fellow THC CBD folks. Happy Easter to all my church folks, and welcome to all the new folks. But very interesting, in my opinion, that this photo doesn't really seem to reflect the image that you see in the mirror of what we are seeing from the reverse. It doesn't really match at all. Like her in the reflection down here, her leg is sort of, her knee is even pointed inward, like towards her thigh, and in this one, her knee is pointed outwards, away from her thigh, right? Happy 420, right? I figured you guys would like that. 420 in church. Well, I definitely, because I use it medicinally, I don't feel like God judges on that kind of stuff. But he knows your heart. So as long as you're in a good place about things, I think, I don't know. Hello, Lisa Kelly. You're new. Welcome. Welcome. Hi, Soul. How you doing, honey? Happy Easter. So peculiar why we hadn't actually even really noticed something like this happening, and that the reflection really doesn't seem to match the person's photo from the behind, right? Doing well, got a new job. Whoop, whoop. Congratulations. Good for you. I think many of us all around the world have more than one job, but some are more hobbies than jobs. And I think that if you're doing what you love and you love what you do, it really doesn't seem too much like work anyway. Yeah, we are still going to go. I just need to, you know, work a little bit here. And I have a lot of updates actually that I want to share with all of you guys, for those that are following all the stories that I'm following. But this is our first discussion for sure. Hey, Gigi, how are you? Yeah, if you still want to go, Carl, then yeah, we can go. No worries. Okay, sounds good. Hey, April TZ. Love the heart. Thanks, girl. Yes, I think everybody is well. So yeah, I definitely wanted to bring this to your attention. I thought it was a little bit odd that we hadn't really noticed that the reflection didn't really seem to match in all honesty. Or I guess looking at it to the quick eye, you may not necessarily pick it apart, but for those of us that have been following this since day one, we've kind of learned that you almost have to pick things apart to figure out what the heck is even going on. And the more that we pick apart, the more questions I think that we have. It really isn't, it really isn't even helping, right? Like, I mean, the more that we pick. But isn't that true, Soul? And if you notice that her arm is up against the door, but here on the reflection, her shoulders are completely level, which, anybody who would go to a mirror right now, you would see the difference in the body leaning a little bit when you raise your arm. You know what I mean? Hey, Laura. Hola, ¿cómo estás, amiga? You didn't pay too much mind to it either. No, neither did I, Soul. And honestly, of course, I've gone and picked away at everything I've sort of covered about this, and I've second guessed and wondered a lot of things. But I was truly baffled when I was really picking this apart or really looking back on some of the photographs and stuff. I was like, it made me go back against many photographs and start picking apart all of them, looking into the backgrounds and looking at the things around and, just seeing the authenticity of it even. And I find this to be pretty peculiar that none of us almost maybe even noticed that her knee, in the mirror is completely pointing outwards, but her knee in the back here is completely pointing inwards. And then she's sticking her butt out, and I mean, her arm is raised, yet her shoulders are completely level. You don't see her arm or anything, or her hand or anything, not even a shadow really on the door. You see of her head a little bit. So I'm like, what's going on? Why are we like, I don't understand why we're sort of almost, it feels like we're being fooled or something, like, why are we only getting half of the info or some of it? And it's just leaving the public up to so many questions. I mean, I believe that as the public hearing about something like this happen, and like all thanks to Chris Watts going on national television, but shit, the rest of us came together because of this, because we had a heart and we cared and we really wanted to know what the fiddle happened here. Why was she so concerned about what was going to be released? Was it because she had a hand in on this? Was it because she had a say into this? So that it was her choice what was exactly released? Or like what's going on? That we're the more that we dig, the more questions that we have and the less answers that we're even getting, in my opinion. Sorry, guys. You're heading out, Carl? Okay, well, I'll see you later. Gonna head out, see your friend. Okay, see you later. Need a powerful magnifying glass. It is a little bit of a weird pose the first time I saw it too. That's true. But I think that the more majority of us were just looking at it like, she just didn't want something like that released of herself. But yet now that I'm wondering, she was so concerned about what was getting released and when. Why? You managed to get alive with you. For once, I always keep missing it by minutes. So I'm so glad to see you here, Kaylee. It's making you think twice about that one YouTuber that has been saying about the pics being fake. Well, it's certainly making me question what the fiddle is really even going on here. We're talking about how this photograph of Nicole Kessinger, reflection to the mirror and her are not matching up. You do not see this woman's arm anywhere here, and her bun really isn't that big to hide it. Nor do you even see a shadow. Her shoulders are completely level, which tells me that she's actually not lifting up her arm from behind, but yet something is photoshopped, I think now, that you know, this looks the way that it does. Her knee here at the bottom, you can see is just pointing outwards, yet here it's pointing inwards. It's a very peculiar, like, why aren't we getting the full picture? Why aren't we getting the truth even, it seems like, or what's going on? Lewis Binney looks pure legit to you. Interesting. I really think that at a quick glance, it does look pretty darn close. But if you're going to start picking this photo apart, there is actually some discrepancies. That's what I think. You think she was worried about Jim? Yeah. Yeah, Alan, sorry, you are definitely in the wrong place. Her head looks much closer to the door than the mirror. Yeah, absolutely. That too. Her head is leaning sort of this way. Meanwhile, in there, it's leaning outwards, right? You've always noticed a discrepancy in her pose, but wow, this is nuts, right? I don't know what to think anymore either. And that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. That's why we're talking about it. Because everybody has a voice on this world and this planet. And this case has brought us together. So we should be talking about everything, in my opinion, you know? And because we have so many more questions, even after reading and seeing information and hearing things, I mean, it's just like, why can't they just sort of appease the public and help us understand exactly what's happened here? You know, shouldn't we see her hand on the doorknob? Well, I think maybe perhaps her shoulder or her elbow and stuff might be a little bit in the way there, but there's certainly something that's not right about this photo, in my opinion, right? Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Well, I think it deserves to be talked about. That's for sure. And maybe we just didn't notice before. I don't know, but her arm is down. Yeah, which, you know, it like, you know, I know, right? Like the whole thing, even the door seems off or something. Like seriously, the knob are different heights almost. Like any way to figure out if they're two different pictures or if one was edited. Well, I believe that we might be able to do something like that if we had the original, right? If we had the original, but I mean, at this point, what do we even have that is original? I'm wondering, for crying out loud. It would be nice to just have some more truth here or something. Or just some answers to the questions that really are making us think here, right? Hey, Denise. I don't know if there's a bottle of something. Where do you mean? Well, I mean, there is a bottle right here that you can barely see in this one right here. But it looks like this might be like a spray bottle. Right here. This camera. Stop messing with me. Oh, for crying out loud, it's still messing with me. Well, whatever, though. You guys can clearly see what the heck I'm talking about. That's for darn sure. It's certainly not the same picture from the mirror, and it doesn't match. Yeah, I believe that that is true, Yvette. But, like, why, right? Why are we having to pick this apart in order just to get a little bit of answers? I wonder if I can turn that off. It's so bright in the corner, though, just like that. Thought it was a selfie, but it's not. That it's supposedly Chris Watts, but I don't know. It could be hers, or it could be freaking Jim's for all we know at this point. I mean, we don't even actually really know if that is Chris in the background, right? I mean, for crying out loud, it's kind of deceiving. Yeah. I definitely have to admit that it is definitely deceiving. But I mean, is it photoshopped, and why is it photoshopped? Why did they have to do something like that? Why was she so concerned about what was getting released? Right? Was she the one that was in control of some of this information that was going to come out to the public? Yeah, like I don't know, right? I mean, I believe in the story, which we don't know how truthful all of it is, that this is supposedly her place, right? But I mean, it's just like this point, how do we even know what's what anymore, right? Well, I believe that they did get a lot of them. I don't know if they got all of them, right? It had looked like a little bit of an odd pose. There was something about the photo that made you look at it like again and again and again, right? But I don't know if we really even saw this. Denise, I did say that. Happy 420 to all of my THC fellow, medicinal smokers, and happy Easter to all my church friends, and welcome to all the new friends. That I kind of made a little skit about it. Love my hair. It's kind of like flopping over on me. I'm just like, whatever. But thank you. You love the lip color? Well, I thought I'm not really doing any eye makeup. I'm just going to throw on a lipstick and then good to go. Off the subject for a sec. I am so sorry. Can I say I love your lipstick? Yeah. Yes, and thank you. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Much love. We'll stay with you guys till my Louisiana granddaughter rings the doorbell. They're coming for Easter. Very nice. Awesomeness. That's so good. So yeah, I'm definitely wondering and a little bit curious about what's sort of happened with some of this information that we've gotten and why it's happened the way that it has. And like at this point, I'm just wondering like how for real is all of this almost? Like, I mean, I realize what happened to Shanann and Bella and Celeste is absolutely real, but how real is the rest of this stuff that's coming out and everything's lies and, it's not looked into more. And it's just like, how much validity is there to the, corruption side of things and whether or not everything's even real? Like, I mean, they're doing their jobs right and stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. But it is very odd, and I don't like that, right? I mean, when you hear about something off the TV and it's, somebody that's frantic and they're, hurting as people who care, when Chris Watts did that in the very beginning on August 14th, when we literally had no idea what happened yet, I think a lot of us, our hearts dropped. Like we just thought this man looks completely freaking normal. And, here he's lost his family and are they okay? And the girls are on medications and, for everything to come to light as it did and as quickly as it did, and the reasoning even behind, Chris saying, well, like he really wants to be honest and get it off of his, shoulders and whatnot. But like, if you're going to get something off your shoulders and stuff, why be dishonest about it? Does that really even clear it off your shoulder anymore? Or does that just create for more, issues to deal with? Hey, Miss Shaylee. I don't know who you are, Annis Jake, but don't get weird calling me your mom if you're not actually one of my kids. I don't appreciate that, okay? Thank you very much. Half Redder, happy Easter to you too. Jim has so much more in this. Well, he perhaps knows more just having discussions with, Nicole Kessinger and stuff. He probably has more information, but again, is that ever even really going to get released at this point? I mean, what happened, Miss Shaylee? Well, we're talking about the photograph of Nicole Kessinger. So this photo of Nicole Kessinger appears to be photoshopped or something in some way, and I don't really know why or what the fiddle is going on. But as you can see in these photos, her arm and shoulders, her shoulders are completely level. Whereas in the picture in the mirror, you can see that her arm is up on the door. Her arm doesn't appear to be up on the door here, which is really weird. Her legs, you guys, like you can see like her knee is sticking out in the mirror, but yet back here you see her knee is sticking in. So it's not lining up or matching in my opinion. And I was really wondering, like, because she was so curious about when information was going to come out and wanting to be super ready for that information, it's odd. It's like, did you have like a say that we don't even know about in what was released in a sense or something? Because she did seem very concerned. I mean, in more than one conversation with the police and the detectives and stuff, she was asking, like, when can she expect to know that things are going to get released? Hello, Dank Williams. When things are going to get released and when she should be, you know, careful and all that kind of stuff, right? As far as insider and stuff goes, you guys, as far as somebody from the police, the corrections facility actually coming onto a YouTuber's channel and talking about an inmate's stay is illegal. Like I don't think that that's authentic, and that's just my take on it, you guys. But I don't want you guys to be going around to other channels and getting fooled in a sense, though. Like, you know, it is illegal for, you know, somebody to speak out about an inmate who's locked up or show footage of him. So anything, in my opinion, that's created like that is not authentic. What would be the purpose of them doing this to the picture? Well, I don't know, but I mean, seemed to me that Nicole Kessinger was really concerned about when things were going to get released, and she should, you know, she really wanted to know about all of that. I'm just going to grab a quick tea, you guys. Sorry, guys. Okay. What's wrong with this picture? Annis Jake asks. You just got cinnamon tea? Yum. Oh my goodness. That sounds so delicious. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, I mean, we were already talking about what's wrong with this picture. The image in the reflection doesn't seem to match up with the image, of what we're seeing. Her shoulders are level, whereas her arm is raised here, so her shoulders would not be level if that was in fact the case here. You cannot see any kind of a shadow even with this little bun in her hair. You can't even see her hand or anything like that, which doesn't seem to really line up. Her leg and her knee is sort of pointing outwards, and yet her knee is pointing inwards back here, not outwards. So interesting, right? You're heading out, Dink. Have a great day. Never noticed that, right? Very interesting. I was a little bit shocked when I started kind of picking it apart myself. In all honesty, I was a little bit like taken aback. Yes, take care, Dink Williams, for sure. Peculiar, right? I mean, then I started to think back into all the interviews that were done. And, I remember that she was really concerned about figuring out when exactly things were going to get released. And I'm like, well, why? Unless she had a little bit of a say or a handle in this or something. I don't know. I really don't know. But I thought I'd share it with everybody and we could talk about it. Okay, bye, Annis Jake. Get better soon. Feel better. So I thought it was definitely worth bringing to everybody's attention so that we could talk about it. And, you guys could give me your input or your thoughts, because I find it a little bit odd, and even Granny Doe had mentioned too, like her head is a little bit too close to the door. Meanwhile, her head is pointing outwards. Interesting. This photo was one of the ones that was released when it was found out that she was the other woman, and they had grabbed all of these photos or something from their phones. So I don't know. Yeah, her head is leaning the wrong way, her knee is leaning the wrong way, her arm and shoulders are leaning the wrong way. I'm like, huh, interesting. Well, I mean, we were led to assume, Pamsy B, we were led to assume that, yeah, that this was a photograph that Chris took of her. But at this point, do we even know? Like, do we really even know? Maybe this is Jim back here, for crying out loud. Right? Did Chris or did Jim take the damn picture? Oh, that was what you typed about her head, Gigi? Sorry. But I mean, I could honestly see that if Jim literally had no knowledge or nothing to do with this, that of course they wouldn't want to necessarily release his information. Look at how the world just got a little bit crazy about this case, right? The more that we heard about it, the more questions that we had. I don't know who Miss Ninja is, but okay. Monica Shelby. Her arm looks closer to her neck in the right picture. And I mean, her shoulders are way too level to even have her arm up like that anyways, in my opinion. But quite odd in my opinion, you know. Miss Ninja's Nicole. I thought she was like North Korea, which I kind of liked. Good eye, Meg Ryan says. Well, thank you. I think that it deserves to be talked about. And, you know, considering that this case for many of us is what sort of brought us together to meet and greet and whatever. So the fact that I've read all these case files, I've looked at all the evidence, I've sort of spent a lot of time on this case as far as diving through the family videos and, you know, their history and just, you know, following this case. I mean, it touched my heart deeply. And what bothered me the most was that, you know, if this girl did have something to kind of do with this, like she's free to go and do this to another man and sort of ruin an entire family again. And I don't know, like, was this a good challenge for her? Was she proud of herself that she stole someone else's man or something? Like, I don't know. But the fact that she is free to do it, whatever, again, is worrisome because, you know, we just have so many unanswered questions. We don't actually know how much involvement this woman had, you know? Meg Ryan. It's not in the Watts house. No, I don't know though anymore. For crying out loud, they had like 2-3 bathrooms there, right? Some girls find pride in that. I think that's whatever. You can clearly tell what I think my opinion is on that, you know, and I just don't think that I don't think that you know, that should be a thing, but whatever, you know. It's really not my place to judge either. To each their own. Considering everything in this case shocking and cringeworthy, no doubt, Pamsy, no doubt. I have to agree. And I guess if this case hadn't have grabbed me as much as it did, maybe we wouldn't be talking about it anymore. But there's something that keeps bringing me back to this. And I think that we are owed and deserve the truth, the full truth, and nothing but the truth. So help them, God. I don't know. Hi, Jeremy. Thanks for the heart. Gotta go, soul? Okay, hun. Have a great, safe day, honey. The chase better than the catch. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous, but whatever. To each their own. I'm really not here to judge that. Her choices are her choices and stuff. But when we're talking about killing 3 little lives, you know, and Shanann, like, I mean, that's just not cool. They didn't even barely have a chance. You know what I mean? And had she not have come into the picture, would Chris have necessarily even done something like this? Maybe not, you know? And did she know anything about it? If she did, well, she's kind of just as guilty, you guys. Like, seriously. So, unbelievable. Oh, shoot. I forgot to check this other thing. It is working. That's so cool. I love it. Oh, goodness sakes. I didn't realize I didn't have it to completely connected. Darn it all. And anyways, that's okay though. We're only 39 minutes in. So some people like the forbidden aspect of it too. Yeah. No, Cloud, you're not having any more wet food in the afternoon. Mommy told you that already. Yeah, okay. So we definitely agree that there's something up with that then, I guess, eh? We can all see that now that we're picking it apart. For those of you that followed the Turpin case with me, I'm very, very happy to announce, that they're 25 years to life, and that's to be served consecutive sentences, and meaning one after the other, in hopes that at the end of that, they really are too old to reproduce and have any more family. You love the kitty. He stinks right now. He wants wet food, and I'm like, I've trimmed them back. They're not having it 3 times a day. She may not have told him to do it, but the innuendo of her being the first is what egged him on. The dependent personality became dependent on Nicole. Yeah, but he kind of seemed like that type of a person anyways. He seemed like, even throughout growing up, that he was very dependent on his mom and his dad and whatnot, even though he made a decision to go to the NASCAR school, and it was him that sort of put in the hard work to, learn about mechanics and all that kind of jazz. He definitely seemed to have like that personality where he was dependent on other people, whatever mood they were kind of in or whatever, not quite able to express himself, fully. Chica, he does that regularly now, and it's been ongoing for, like I said, about a year or so. I'm not sure if it's borderline, attention seeking because he wants the wet food, so he thinks that he'll get it if he does that, or what. But if I start to notice that he's not eating and he's getting more sick, I will definitely be taking him into the vet. Rebecca Ortega. Sounds like they're doing good. Who are you talking about? Sorry, Rebecca. Glad they're keeping the kids away so they can do programs. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, April. And I think that with their support system, they are going to be, generally okay. But for the older ones, they may always have to sort of tap into some kind of, help on the outside, right? So, but I believe that the Turpin kids, they'll go on now. I mean, it was just heartbreaking to hear the testimony and the letters that the kids had written. You could see at one point that it really tore up Louise, but I just wonder, I don't know, you guys. I wonder, like, is she authentic that she's sad about what she did, or is she authentic because she's sad because now she has to sit behind bars for the rest of her life, She's a homewrecker, but not a murderer. Yeah, for Nicole, yeah, perhaps, right? But here's the thing, Gina Shaw. Like, legally, if you know that somebody wants to kill another person and you don't stop that, you are just as much of an accessory to that murder. You might as well have just killed the person yourself. And so that's where my question comes into play. Like, seriously, what did this woman really know something about this? Why was she so concerned about making sure that who she was talking to on the phone was actually Chris? Why did she want everything deleted? I mean, just because you were with a married man, you knew that when you were searching him in 2017. So to me, it makes you're making yourself look like you're more guilty because you're hiding and taking all these precautions and stuff. And we heard that in Chris Watts's interview in the prison. Where's my little book thing? Hang on one second. Oh, Lord, help me find that little book, please. Hang on. What did I do with it? Crying out loud. Do with it. Sorry, you guys. Sheesh. So we knew about that at the 2 hour, 8 minute mark, where he was saying that he was telling the detective that she was like questioning him secretively, trying to make sure that it was actually him on the phone, covertly asking questions that only he would know the answer to, in text messages, and making sure it was him. Why were you so concerned? Who cares if it was the police that you were talking to if you really have nothing to hide? I don't know. The whole thing is a little bit weird to me. Yeah, I know. I totally agree with that, Chica. I thought she would divorce his wife, not kill her. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Chris, making America great again. I'm over here trying to make Canadians super friendly. Canada. Shauna Bay. Just like the Kelsey Bear show, I agree with everything you're saying, girl. Preach it. You're so cute. Thank you, honey. Yeah, I know with the Kelsey Bear situation too. Like, I mean, Miss Kenny, like, she was asked on 3 separate occasions to do something to harm her. Like, she had a chance 3 times over to go and get him sort of arrested before anything horrible happened to her. In my opinion, she is just as guilty. Carolyn Maslin, I felt sorry for the Turpin dad. Couldn't help it. I feel like Louise was the mastermind. I don't know though. Like, here's the thing. He's coming home every day after work and he sees what's going on. He sees how much food's getting bought. He was just as knowledgeable about how the children were getting treated and the routine of the inside of that house, you guys. Like, it's impossible to say that he wasn't a part of it completely. You know what I mean? It was a team situation for them, in my opinion, and they both would have had the opportunity to say to one or the other, oh, I think this is a little bit harsh. Yet, they didn't have enough food in the house. They had a huge family. That should have been something that was never ran out of, is food, right? And it's not like he wasn't working. And I mean, she was supposed to be doing her job properly as teaching her kids stuff, and she really wasn't, right? Hello, Seal Shaman. I may not have said that correctly. Sorry. But what about, Nicole Kessinger getting that frickin' polygraph test? What about all of the justice that, we believe, I think, still needs to happen? The Turpins are totally dysfunctional, both mentally. I completely agree. Yeah. And the way that they were covering up their routine, you guys, there's no way that they didn't actually know what they were doing was wrong. That's why they kept them up all night long and slept all day, like, to avoid even, being seen. They never talked to the frickin' neighbors. I mean, it was really a odd family dynamic, in my opinion. He knew they were chained. He knew what was going on. He knew. I believe that he was probably even the one that, like, some of them were known to be held inside of a little ceiling room. It really wasn't a room. It was kind of, it was a punishment. And I mean, he knew about that. That's just brutal. Them eating things in front of their kids, or buying pies and not letting them have any, and yet they're not feeding them and stuff. Like, oh my goodness. The alleged body was burned, but I believe that it's known in the transcripts right now, according to her testimony, that it was something that he had done without her, because Patrick had asked her to do it 3 times. I believe twice was with a drink and once was with a pipe or a bat or something, but he ended up doing it, right, with a bat. And she was called after the fact, but her chance to save Kelsey would have been when he was asking her to do something to take this woman's life, you know? I mean, she was a mother and a daughter. Like, that's just brutal. Samantha, I'm not sure who you're talking to, but there's no Hitler lovers here. Thank you, Chica. I was just about to do that. You read my mind, beautiful. Oh, some people are just disgusting, though. Such as Hitler. I made Happy Easter video for the Ruzick family today. Yes, Gina did mention that earlier to me, but feel free to check that out, guys. It looks like her hand is right above her left shoulder, but her shoulders aren't even displaced at all. How many of you can raise up your hand, but your shoulder doesn't raise with it? Because I know, like, I mean, if we're going to go and recap and try to redo this pose, maybe I should do that. I should do that. Do a picture of myself trying to do this type of a pose, and I guarantee you, like, there's no way that from the back you're not going to be able to see that that shoulder is raised. Yet, and in the back of her photo, they do not look raised at all. You think you subscribed? What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, girl. Alice says during Chris's first interview, he kept saying he did not hurt those girls. He also said she wasn't supposed to be there. Who wasn't supposed to be there? I think that maybe, Alice, he was talking about Bella or Cece, that they weren't supposed to be up, or they weren't supposed to be there. They weren't supposed to see what they did see. Just heartbreaking, all of it, for real. And because we aren't getting all the answers, it's just leaving us to more questions. And nobody's appeasing these questions. So the questions are just getting even worse. Like, is there anything bad going on here? Was somebody paid off for something? What's really happening here? If we can see these holes in these questions and stuff like that, then, you know, looks like her, right? Oh, you no to the Nazi thing. You think you're gonna unsubscribe? Yeah. I didn't realize that was. I didn't even realize that was another channel. To be honest with you, I just thought it was a person. But I definitely. I don't have any racist bone in me, so. So at least, though, the Turpins are going to be serving their sentence, you know, consecutively. So as soon as they finish serving one, they're going to start serving the other one. And, you know, it doesn't look as if they'll ever sort of get out of prison, not even on good behavior, you know, which is a good thing, in my opinion. I believe that if they were allowed out any sooner or whatever, and they were able to reproduce, they would still make another family and have another go at it. We love you too, Laura. So the other update I wanted to share with you guys, of course, we talked about this on our last live. Emmanuel Aranda, he was the gentleman that tossed the 5-year-old little Landon off of the 3rd floor at Mall of America in Minnesota. He's being held on $2 million bail. Thank goodness. And I mean, yeah, that guy is yuck. Totally agree. Totally agree. Disgusting. On a good note, though, little Landon is showing strong signs of healing and just coming forward in a good way. You know what I mean? He's healing really, really, really well. I have been here a while, just changed my name for security. Well, I definitely thought, yeah, that Mr. Emmanuel Aranda, if that's even how you say his name, I hope that, you know, he never gets out either, for crying out loud. But I mean, are they going to be able to get enough on him in order for him to never get out? because, you know, his whole reasoning behind that, you guys, was pretty sick. And with the way the world and the dating world is going, I could see this guy just, you know, flipping off the deep end because of rejection. Like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I was so happy to hear that he is healing. Lil Landon is healing very, very well. And that just made my heart grow. I was like, oh, that's so good, you know? What time is it in Canada, Pamsy is asking. I believe it is 3 o'clock. But yeah, amazing kid, very resilient, I have to admit. When you fall from a third floor, gravity works. The concrete that they build the malls with is, I mean, I can't imagine the impact and what he must have felt. He probably had no idea what was even going on. You know, so scary for a little 5-year-old to have to be treated like that by a grown person in a public place. Like, I hope that man never gets released. I hope they have enough on him to keep him locked up for life. Like, he thought that he had problem with rejection on the outside with the females. Good luck on the inside being that kind of a inmate. Good luck, buddy. Like, holy crap. Like, the mother was right there. So what happened was this Emmanuel guy literally walked like almost right up to her, to the point that she was like, I'm sorry, are we in your way? And she was trying to get out of his way. It was like, you know, when somebody comes a little bit too close into your personal bubble, your little space where you're like, what's going on here? That's exactly what happened. But yet before she had a chance to even really think or do it, he grabbed her 5-year-old kid and threw him off the freaking balcony at Mall of America. I mean, honestly, apparently he had head trauma and he had broken bones. But I mean, thank God he's a resilient little man, it sounds like. And it sounds like his healing is just coming fold like tenfold. Like, he's just doing so amazing. So yeah, no, the pick is definitely odd, Ms. Shaman. Gina, what are you talking about? Like, I disagree so much with that kind of world. I really, yeah, like, I don't even want it on my feed. So maybe go Google your questions, but excuse me. Well, it came from someone else mentioning something about Hitler. But I thought that Gina was saying that she had subscribed to that channel and she's going to go and unsubscribe now. So I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't like it. So let me just say that. Sorry, guys. No, the picture with NK is a little bit puzzling, and now, and knowing how much she was so concerned about when and what was going to get released, it just making me question even more. Like, no wonder you were so inquisitive about it if you had a handle in on it, on exactly what was going to be released from your phone and your, you know, your photos and of you. Hello, Evan Idamili. She's confused and thinks Ahmad was the one who made the original comment. I don't know. Evan, don't come over here just to like get all rude, because you know that I'm not going to say your name correctly. Anybody who's ever come to my channel knows that I do have issues with saying names correctly, and that's because I'm fully bilingual. So, pourquoi je parle en français? Je peux pas vraiment dire les noms comme il faut parce que je parle deux langages. C'est un petit peu difficile pour moi. So I would appreciate it if you wouldn't come over here just to be rude and be like, say my name right. Like, are you serious? Like, you're online and you're talking to a person live. There's no reason for you to be rude. So, check yourself at your attitude at the door, or don't come into the room, please. Hello, Heather. How you doing, honey? Hello, Shanu. Okay, so yeah, definitely wanted to update you guys on the Emmanuel, Lil Landon that's healing properly. I mean, honestly, it's great to hear that he's coming out of this, like this hectic negative experience. I can't imagine at 5 years old what the fiddle he was even thinking. And I mean, he was so small. Like I don't know, cowardly for Emmanuel to just pick up this kid, a stranger that he didn't even know, and throw him off of a third floor. That's absolutely a load of crap, Just in time to hear her say, yeah, no, I didn't say that. I was saying, like, hey, I speak two languages. I don't know how to say names very correctly, so I'd appreciate it if you would not do that, because that's just rude. I mean, obviously I'm not doing it intentionally. Obviously I'm not doing it on purpose. Like, shoot. I mean, who does that, right? If you actually know how to say somebody's name and you just constantly say it the wrong way, or if you've just met somebody and you've never spoken to them and you don't even know how their name is said, and you're just trying to guess just to be polite, you know? I definitely believe that the pictures have been altered. Why is a whole nother it's a whole nother situation. We have no idea why they have done something like this, but it's creating, again, like I said, for all these questions. And it would just be nice if Tammy and Dave and Graham would just come out, full-fledged with exactly what happened, and exactly what went on in this procedure and the process, and not like a half-assed or just part of it. Like, in all honesty, I've said this before. If Chris Watts had never have gone on to national television news complaining about, losing his wife and his children, when he knew darn well from the beginning that it was him that did something to them, I don't think that this case would have taken off all over the media like it did, right? And in all honesty, I think that the only reason they even maybe picked up for like Patrick Frazee is because they're trying to get some of that heat a little bit off of Chris. But it's too late. It's way too late that the whole world knows about this. And the more and more people just keep coming around hearing a little bit and then wanting to know more about what the fiddle really happened, So, yeah, like, it's just devastating for the Ruziks, and it's heartbreaking for Shanann and the people, Bella and Celeste, the people that had to lose their lives over this, stupid situation. But very, very, very peculiar, that there seems to be so many odd ends to this, and we don't really know what exactly really happened, Um, we have enough heat for all murders. Well, I mean, but this one just sticks out like a sore thumb, because I mean, you don't even barely have to have common sense to see that there's so many lies and inconsistencies and more questions with this case than there even is answers. You don't even need common sense for that. I mean, for real. You could have an education of a freaking child and you're still going to see that something's not right here. And the longer that it just goes without talking about it. We don't get any response as far as, is she going to get polygraphed? Are we really going to see her GPS coordinates as to whether or not she was in Frederick at the Watts house, or she was in Frederick at the frickin' gym or something? Are we ever really going to know the truth? Like, I wish that the petitions would have been working properly. They seem to be working just fine for, taking the profits away from anybody who's wanting to make a movie out of this or whatever. But now it's the petition to get his photos of Shanann, Bella, and Cece out of his cell, and that works just fine too. Yet the petitions for Nicole, none of them are working. None of them. That's a little bit suspicious. I don't know. A little bit BS in my opinion too. Well, I think that they wanted to get the heat a little bit off of Chris a little bit, so they brought up Patrick and that case, hoping that the general public around the world was going to become more fascinated with that case than they were with Chris Watts. But it's too late. It's too late, and the more people hear about this, the more we look into it, the more we have questions about it. You know, it is a little bit of BS. I kind of agree. Hello, LeBron James. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad thing to necessarily be a little bit gullible. I am too, but you know what? That just means that you have a good heart because you're trying to take what people say to you for face value. You're not trying to doubt absolutely anything and everything that somebody comes at you with. That shows that you have a big heart, that you actually care and you actually give people the benefit of the doubt that maybe what they're saying is true. And well, if they want to just act like try to make you look like a fool and an idiot, well, let that be their problem and don't hang out with them and don't talk to them and don't address it. But don't feel bad because you actually believe somebody, even if they are just BSing, you know? Lynn's studio. We are good. Except Sherry has chapped lips. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Well, it certainly, makes me feel like I have so many more questions now because of all this stuff. I just wish we could have just got the truth from the beginning and the full story from the beginning, but there just seemed to be some things that just didn't add up from the beginning. Very nice to see you too, Lynn Studio. You like my shirt? Oh, thanks. Thank you, Heather. You're so sweet. He got us a championship, so I don't hate him. What? What are you talking about? Ouch. Do you like my necklace? It's just a little like rose. I like it too. It's kind of cute, right? It's dainty. What brand is my lipstick? It's the Mariposa. This is why this case cannot be closed down, and there's way too many unanswered questions. Well, yeah, and I mean, like the more that keeps coming out, it's not even authentic. Is what we're left to sort of ask ourselves. So, hello, Evan. Mert, hello. How are you from Turkish? Will you open the chest decollect? I don't know what that is, but are you guys ready for the special announcement? Maybe we should do that now. The last update's really, I don't know how many of you guys are even following the fire, right? The Notre Dame Cathedral. Oh my goodness. I try to be stylish. Yeah, I like to match. You think that's a fancy way of that? Really? Well, no. Seriously. No, I think I have all the mods I really need right now, and I don't really even know you. The people that I have that moderate for me, I make sure that they understand what is acceptable and what is not. And they're people that have been around my channel for quite some time. It's not something I take lightly because they do have the power at that point to, delete you and stuff. So I choose my moderators very wisely. Yeah, no doubt, Mr. Williams, no doubt. And on that thirsty note, I just have to say, like, some recent experiences and stuff in my own personal life has actually gotten me to see that I've kind of evolved a little bit where if you care too much about, someone hurting your feelings and stuff, you're giving them the power. And if you are somebody who allows that, right? You allow to give someone the power over you, over your emotions, over, making you sad or whatever. I think that it's detrimental, right? And so what I've realized about myself is that I've kind of evolved to the point that, I believe that if you share yourself in something and then something goes the wrong way, it's better to sort of cut that off and cut that tie before it's something that they hurt you with. And then just sort of knowing your worth and not accepting less than the best treatment. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hear ya, Shaman. No, I don't speak Arabic, Evan. I'm all white. French and English. How many were just watching the screen? Yeah, we tend to become numb, but what I realized is that I don't really want to give anybody the power or control over my emotions. So as long as I'm happy in my own self, like it, somebody can try to come around and try to treat me right for a little while, but talk is cheap. And if your actions don't line up, I'm not wasting my time. That's how I see it, Woohoo! Right? I was like, how many people are watching this screen? But for real though, we are going to do draw time. So I went and purchased a Visa MasterCard, and I thought that it would be really fun to do a giveaway. Now, for those of you that are maybe new, I'm actually doing 3 giveaways this month. So I might just take a little bit of a break on a giveaway for next month, but we'll see how things go. But yeah, we're doing 3. I've already got the 2 packages set up for the Miss Shaylee and Alice. And for the draw for this, guys, we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a post on my community feed, and you folks can enter your name there, and then I'll take all the names from the one spot. Okay. Yeah, I thought it would be fun, and I promised you guys that I was going to do a Visa MasterCard giveaway this month, so I just wanted to keep my word and do that. The jewelry, I did pick a couple of people that I was going to send out some stuff to, and the Alice really liked that white glass pendant, so I'm going to give her that. And Miss Shaylee liked one of the bracelets for her granddaughter and the choker that had those beautiful. Well, I'll just show you because I didn't seal it yet. But I'm sending her something for her granddaughter as well as her because she asked. So this beautiful necklace I'm sending to her. So yeah. Yeah, Miss Shaylee. So we'll do the draw for the gift card. Let's see, today is the 20th. So let's do the draw in like 10 days so I can really like mail it kind of thing. So we'll do it for April 30th. Just my reminder. Well, I thought it would be fun to kind of honor my subscribers, and I appreciate you guys. You guys are great. Those of you that come around my channel and you put in a kind word, even if it's like a thought or an opinion about something where we don't necessarily even agree. I appreciate that people can do that as adults, and we can have cordial discussions about things, even if we disagree, right? So, as I stated, Granny Doe, I'm going to be putting up a post on the community channel there, and I will definitely. We'll do the draw. I wanted to put that in my phone. We'll do the draw for April 30th. And then the rule basically, guys, is just contact me within 24 hours of the draw to give me your mailing information. Doesn't have to be your address, could be a friend's address. It really doesn't matter. All I do need is somebody's address to send out the gift. So thank you, Joanne, for your thumbs up. What is the day on the 30th? Does anybody know? Hang on. Tuesday, perfect. That is perfect. So we can just do it as a scheduled live show, of course. So our scheduled live show, of course, is it's 2 p.m. for my time zone, guys, and that's CST time zone. But if you're going by YouTube time zone, they go by GMT. I think that's like Greenwich Mountain or something. Hi, Kara. Hello, Daniel Gringa. Dagmont, Mike. Why am I so blurry? Good question. I don't know. I'm using something for the very first time, and clearly, it's, I don't know, maybe it's not working that well. Oh boy. Hi, Kelly. You are American Irish. Cool. Yeah, I have done a giveaway each month for every single month this year. But this month I actually am doing 3 giveaways. So we might take a break or whatever. I'm not sure. We'll see. No, but I'm blurry because I'm doing like a screen sharing, and I can see on my other thing here. It's on my Facebook that it is blurry. I should send some feedback on that. Video insights. Interesting. Yeah, I've never actually used this before, so I don't even know if I'm doing it properly. I know I'm clear here, but I can see even on my Facebook it's not that clear. I don't know how to fix it. Video quality. Interesting. I'm still playing with all kinds of different stuff to figure things out, though. Yeah, I'm going to post it on a community feed for the entry for the visa. If you close it like on the, well, I did that on the Facebook end of it. But if you close it, it just stops recording. So you have to go in and do another stream. It's like literally the first time I've ever used it. I'm so confused on some of this stuff sometimes. How does one get community's fee? I don't think there is a fee. The community post is when somebody puts up a post on YouTube. So Lisa, under the video screen, click on. I'll take you to her YouTube channel. There's a community tab. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. Oh, that's that's interesting, but it's showing. Well, see, okay, but that just might be the beginning of it. I'm just like, what the fiddle? You see, when I start concentrating, I frown because I'm trying to like figure something out or read it or whatever. I wonder if LeBron is actually Percy, or if it's not. Thanks for the flowers, Mert. They're not flowers, they're hearts. Sorry. That's cool. I kind of figured it out though, except that it went blurry at some point. And I don't know why or where. Oh, there, I see it started to. About half an hour in. I'm probably all blurry because I was talking about Nicole Kessinger. That's probably why. Seems to me that anything that is to do with her doesn't seem to work properly. So second you even start talking about her, like, I don't know if you guys noticed that at one point, even when the camera was facing the computer, it stopped focusing and it would no longer show it the picture properly. Well, it's certainly kind of pretty evil of her, in my opinion, to be going after a married man and, kind of getting into his ear as a side piece, trying to make it seem like, she wants him all to herself. She wants to start a family of her own, and trying to be that perfect woman for him. When in reality, it sounds like she had her own issues. And I mean, even Chris says like he had to talk her down sometimes and stuff. So right on. That's awesome, LeBron. I know, Gigi. I just get a little far-fetched sometimes, right? It's just like convenient that it all works just fine. And then as soon as it's something to do with her, it doesn't want to work properly or something, Nobody's allowed to talk about her. We are allowed to talk about her, and we should be allowed to have the justice involving her, and we should be allowed to have all the information regarding what her involvement was too. So who doesn't love an anklet? So pretty. Time it will. Yeah, she certainly went out of her way, to make sure that the world she was ready for the world that was going to come at her, And if you really had nothing to do with any of this, seriously, I would honestly like be coming forward. I wouldn't want this kind of heat on me, right? I mean, I'm sure she doesn't like it either, but in all honesty, she has the power to stop it too. Unless unless she really can't prove that she wasn't there. And then, of course, well, then we understand that all of this makes sense. And why is she free? Why is she not locked up for Shanann, Bella, and Celeste and Nico that are no longer here? Can I be friends with you, Mert? Yes. But it seems that people, different places around the world, seem to have a different idea of what friends is. Well, we don't even know if they did actually question Jim. I mean, I would like to believe that they did, and they just didn't release it because he really did have nothing to do with it, and they could corroborate that, and they were able to, really see that this guy was in Milwaukee and really had nothing to do with this, because let's not forget that is where his phone pinged when Nicole called him on August 13th at 6:16 in the morning. Her phone pinged in Frederick, Colorado. His phone pinged in Milwaukee. So I could see if that was actually validated and the police and the investigators actually were able to verify that based off of the phone pinging and where it was and stuff like that. Fine, that's great. He really did have nothing to do with it then, maybe. And maybe we don't even need to read that, because the guy was in Milwaukee and there's no way you could be in two different states or two different places at the same time. So, I think she is hoping it's going to go away, but that's not going to happen. I mean, seriously, if they can't actually see that already, um, like, what are they waiting for? Is all I have to say. Like, seriously. Yeah, I wonder if Charlotte still talks to Nicole. I wonder. People were wondering why, people weren't coming forward for her to say they went to school with her or anything like that. I honestly think they just didn't really want to get connected to her with the madness that this is coming out, and whether or not she did or didn't have knowledge on it. So she is one of the most hated females in the world. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I seriously would not want to be in her position, but at the same time, if it was something that was happening to me like this, I would come forward with whatever I needed to show the world that I really didn't have anything to do with this. And that, yeah, I might have made a shitty choice to sleep with a married man. And, maybe I was the reason that he was going to annihilate his family and he thought we were just going to go on living happily ever after. But, there's just, generally nobody wants to have to air yourself to the world, but when you have this that's attached to it, I would think that it's almost like necessary. She should come forward, and the fact that she's not is making her look more guilty. I'm not gonna lie. And it's kind of almost the same thing with the police and the investigation. Like, why aren't they coming forward with that polygraph for her, with some GPS coordinates to show us that the woman really didn't have anything to do with it? I think that we all have better things to do than to sit around hating somebody for, some bad choices. I mean, you're going to have to live and answer for your bad choices one day. But if you were sort of an accomplice in this situation and you were partially had knowledge or even helped annihilate this family, then you really shouldn't have the luxury of just walking around free to do whatever, whenever, in my opinion. Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico can't walk around free to do whatever the heck they want now. I mean, so, like, if she had nothing to do with it, why not come forward? What do you really have to hide? We don't care about what position you wanted it in or where or what. I don't think that really matters. But we do care if, she was at this house at the Watts family home on August 12th, 13th. I don't know. Like, it's not like, I think we're owed that answer. I think we're, because of the publicity of this case, I think that the public does need the answers, and it's really not fair to just leave us to sit and continue to question until we're sick of talking about it. Like, this is just retarded already. I'm sorry, but, like, somebody should be coming forward with some more in regards to whether or not her involvement was there or not. Somebody should come forward and tell us, whether that's law enforcement, her lawyer, even a liaison, somebody that's just a friend of hers. I don't know, but to sit back and not do anything and not say anything and just allow people to continue to question, it only makes you look more guilty, like you have something to hide. See, and the difference between Amber Fry is that she really didn't have any idea that this man was married. Nicole can't say that because of her search history on Shanann in 2017. We already knew that she knew. She may not have told Chris that she knew, but I mean, it's just unfortunate that, they think that this is just going to die off and be quiet. And I mean, yeah, we're going to cover other cases. Yeah, we're going to talk about other things. But I think we're always going to come back to what the fiddle really happened in the Watts case. And did Nicole have any other involvement? It's a little bit odd that she was there at, 6:15 in the morning in Frederick, in my opinion. Yeah, I kind of think that, Rachel, you're right. And that is exactly what they're thinking, is that they will just allow this to sort of die down and eventually the public will forget. And that's probably maybe even exactly what they've told her. But I don't know, like, I don't really see us forgetting about this. For those of us that genuinely, our hearts went out for this case and genuinely care, I don't think we're going to be able to just forget. Yeah, I heard about her ex-husband's stories too, but I'm not sure how authentic any of that is. And I can't, I don't know, like I don't see, but they don't really keep your marriage licensing and stuff like that the way they used to. So I'll never forget this case either. Like, for real. It's just something that really grabbed me. You know, I don't cry about every case, but there's some cases that I genuinely have grown attached in watching, and some things unfold and learning about the victims, and it's sad that that's how we sometimes come together. But I think that we're great support for each other too, to try to figure, out exactly what happened and why things happened the way that they did. And I think it's pretty obvious that we can see, her involvement was not anything positive. But yeah, my last update for you guys was on the cathedral fire in Paris, France. And of course, they're stating that it may have been like a computer glitch or some kind of an electrical situation, but they believe that the fire started fairly like higher up in the roof, due to the lack of damage, I guess, on some of the things inside. So of course they're rebuilding, and I had stated to you guys in the past that there was some of the richest people in France that have come forward, donating like hundreds of millions of dollars, so, to the rebuilding. Hello, Sheila. She ran out of town. That blows my mind. She is free as a bird, and I believe that maybe the law enforcement know exactly where she is, and they're probably, still in communication and contact with her. But in all honesty, I'd just come forward and show the world that I really didn't have anything to do with it. Yeah, and she wouldn't even have to bring that information forward herself. She could use her lawyer to do that. I wish they would polygraph her too, Gina. And I really wish that we could see if they had gotten the warrant to get her GPS coordinates. Or was that something that was completely halted at the same time as, when Chris pleaded guilty and stuff like that. Because all of the forensic testing and everything else had halted at that point. And so, like, I wonder. Yeah, they have a lot of donations that have come in to build back the cathedral, cathédrale. But Yeah, it would be nice if we could just, yeah, find out once and for all if they're actually going to just give us a little bit more information of on that polygraph or her whereabouts, you know? Flop gamer. Italian. No, I'm not Italian, if that's what you're asking. Her phone pinged in Frederick, yes, because she was calling Jim, and Jim's phone pinged in Milwaukee. So I don't think that Jim had anything to do with it. I don't even think he really had any knowledge on it, in all honesty. Um, I think the most that he maybe knew about was he knew about Chris, you know, at most. And that's, I think, in my opinion, if we're taking what she's saying for her word for truth, that he is just a friend and that he's not just, you know, another lover or something like that, where he maybe didn't even know about Chris. I don't know, right? Or not very much about him, right? Yeah, she was definitely cheating. Saluta. Yes, Sheila, we've just spent about an hour and 40 minutes going over it. Most of our conversation here has been about Nicole Kessinger today. His phone pinged in Milwaukee because his phone is registered there. I don't know. I believe that his phone pinged in Milwaukee because he was there. Because even if you have like an out of town phone number and wherever your phone pings on a tower, it's still going to be able to show like that is you, right? Yeah, I think she went to North Dakota as well. She has a house there or something like that, or her dad does, or someone does. I believe that she's there. A woman knows if someone was in the house, especially if you're suspicious of your man. Right. Dwayne Kessinger. Dwayne Kessinger, but we have no idea. The whole like paying people off and money involved and Mason talk and all of that stuff, we really don't know if there's any validity to it. I believe that it actually pinged there. I don't think that it would have shown up on the phone bill the way that it did if the guy wasn't in Milwaukee. If perhaps maybe even he, because where you're pinging is the area that you're in, you guys. Like, so it's not, you know, even if your phone is registered in one area, when it is used and it's pinged, it's not going to show like a Milwaukee phone that's in Frederick, if you're calling it in Frederick, is not going to ping in Milwaukee just because that's where it's from. It's going to ping wherever the person is, you know? That's how I see that. Well, I mean, the only reason, Carolyn, that he even asked that was because of the idea to pawn the ring. I honestly am not really sure that Jim really has anything to say or contribute to this case. I feel like Like he's just the side guy of her, you know, like But yeah, I mean, the ring was like $10,000 purchase price. So if you're going to try to pawn something like that, let's be realistic. You're really only going to be getting like hundreds of dollars. Like they want to be able to make profit on a flip and stuff, right? Excuse me. Especially for expensive stuff, yeah. Well, I think most people do though, right? Most people are like that. I don't think they would have gotten very much even if they had pawned it, you know? I don't even think he would have got a grand. I really don't even think he would have got a grand. If even if it was a $10,000 ring. Not in this day and age, not in this economy. Yeah, he doesn't remember what he took out of that car, but I think he was just panicked. I honestly feel like he had the ring in his pocket and he was trying to figure out what the fiddle to do with it. If he should drop it in the car and say that he found it there or what. I think he was kind of panicked. His phone did ping Milwaukee. They would have to get his phone records to see where he actually was. I believe that because he pinged in Milwaukee, that means he was in Milwaukee. Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Granny Doe. I don't even think he would have got a full grand. So wasn't making much money. When she met him, she encouraged him to get a job in the oil fields. Yeah, they were working at the car dealership, right? His phone records. It's always going to say Milwaukee. Well, at this point, Jennifer, I really don't even think that they're going to be releasing anything more to us. I don't think they're going to validate anything about Jim. I don't think they're going to release anything about his records. And probably because, in my opinion, they probably validated that he really wasn't anywhere around there. So there was no need to release that to the public for the scrutiny of the public. You know what I mean? Absolutely. 200 plus pages that were unpublished from the 1,960 page document. It was certainly missing pages. Yeah, 10 grand, Hannah Tay. Yeah. That's how much the wedding ring was for Shanann Watts. But definitely, like our conversations and stuff won't quit. We're not going to forget. I got way too connected to this case to ever just completely forget about it. There's no way. And hopefully we get some more information. Hopefully we get some more answers. But yeah, definitely rest in peace. You're not saying he was involved. I don't know, but they would have to have his records, which, perhaps maybe is part of the 200 pages that's missing. I would imagine that Nicole Kessinger, using Jim as an alibi, they would have had to verify this stuff. But upon verifying it, if they were able to completely see that he really was nowhere near there and he really didn't know anything about any of this, I believe that they would withhold that. They wouldn't really need to. That why release that, right? To get the scrutiny of the public that's just going to pick it apart when it could very well be exactly that. It's completely factual that maybe he was absolutely nowhere near Frederick, Colorado, and had no knowledge or assistance in any way in this crime. So it would be silly in a sense, right, of law enforcement to release that man's information if he really had nothing to do with it and was nowhere around there. And I believe that they probably did their investigation completely properly, and they base some of these things, like, if they release it, people are going to maybe come after him trying to question him and ask him about his involvement with Nicole. Yes, that is my cat, Cloud. So they are the sweetest people. I thought I really wanted to try to connect with them. I mean, it literally made me cry that Shanann and her mom, Sandra, had such a close bond. I mean, not having that with my mom and stuff, it's just like I admired it. I was like, so, like, I wish that was me. I was almost envious. You know what I mean? And I really, really wanted to connect with them. I did send a card, but I also didn't want to push it. Nicole Atkinson made it very clear that they didn't want to talk to me. So I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. If they ever change their mind, my information is on my About You page if they ever wanted to talk to me. But I'm not going to continue bothering them because of, this case. I mean, it's a painful memory, let's face it. And yeah, I don't know. So yeah, he is a pretty cat. But yeah, I thank you guys for watching. I really, really appreciate all your support. If you enjoyed the show today, we can give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Throw up a like sign. And if you're new, well, hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of interactive conversations here, and everybody is welcome. As long as you're not going to be bullying in any way, shape, or form, everybody is welcome. So I love you guys. Stay tuned for the post picture with the giveaway gift card, and we will do that draw on April 30th. So I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I will try to respond to some more questions later. Much love to all of you guys, but have a great rest of your day. Stay safe everybody, and we'll talk to you again soon for another true story with me, Sherry Wiens. Bye for now, folks.